Well, it's been a few days since we've had a little chat, so grab yourself a good cup of coffee and let's catch up.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. It's the only way that we get the word out that we're here. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of the Afternoon Drive. Well, the Democrats walked right into it, and of course they were led by Chuck E. Cheese Schumer. For days, they were talking about having to take this stand against MAGA, against Donald Trump, for the gutting of the Constitution, the gutting of the financial services that are so desperately needed. You had Mad Maxine Waters out there saying that people will die because they won't be getting their welfare, they won't be getting their Social Security, they won't be getting their Medicaid. I mean, this was just over the top even for these Democrats. And along comes Chuck Schumer. You know, he's going to hold this line. We're not going to give in to Trump. We're going to let the government shut down. And it will be Donald Trump's fault because they control Congress. But see, there was a couple problems with that. Number one, America knows that there were some Democrats who were going to have to vote along with the Republicans to make it happen. So that would mean that some Democrats would have to break ranks to vote. So if there was a shutdown, it absolutely was going to be blamed on the Democrats. And Chuck Schumer knew that. Now, AOC has come out to scold Chuck, as has Nancy Botox Pelosi, as has Bernie Sanders. But here's the reality. They're just still jockeying to be relevant and to be the voice of the party. I mean, you know, Nancy Pelosi, who looks like Skeletor, you know, Nancy, your days of power and influence, they're over. Sayonara. Bernie, you are considered by even the progressive left and the old Bernieites, you're a sellout. You didn't do it just once, you did it twice. You ran for president to see what kind of grift you could cash in for a new house, a new whatever. AOC is wanting to be the darling of the Democrats. She wants to be the leader of the resistance. She wants to be the new face, the new direction of the Democratic Party. And I'm sorry, AOC, there's still too many people with some sanity in them that's just not going to happen for you. But hey, keep swinging for those fences. Bottom line is this: Chuck actually knew the deal. See, if they voted to extend the budget, another budget resolution, which, by the way, Republican Rand Paul was totally opposed to, as am I. Could we just finally fix this thing? Could we stop kicking the can down the road, and could we finally just fix it? Now, a little bit, I'm going to give Trump a little slack on this one. The guy hasn't even been in office yet 100 days, and there's so much he's trying to get done. I got it. You know, a major overhaul of the budget like this. But Mr. Trump, once you clear your 100 days and you start focusing on the long range, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, we have got to have a balanced budget. And we have got to get this thing fixed once and for all. But that said, the reason the Democrats were not going to vote for it is, number one, it's because it's Trump. Number two, there were some of those, shall we say, Elon-inspired cuts that were going to be made to some of their precious programs. And that was why they were going to take this righteous stand. But here's what Chuck understood. I think AOC gets it, but apparently doesn't get it. If the government shuts down, everything then goes to the executive branch. Everything. In fact, President Trump probably would have really loved having the government shut down, because then at that point, he would have been able to have absolute, total discretionary control over what is considered essential government and still receives funding. Now, of course, the Democrats try to paint it that you won't get your Social Security check. VA veterans will not get their VA benefits. People who need Medicaid, you'll just die in the street. No, the executive, the president, sets the agenda of what gets funded during a shutdown. When this happened under Barack Obama, he wanted the American people to see the effect. Now, welfare checks still went out. Social Security checks still went out. But all the national parks were closed, and access to all the national monuments were closed, and even taking tours of the White House and the Capitol, et cetera, all closed because they couldn't fund those things. So Boy Scout troops that had been planning and preparing for months to raise money to go to Washington, D.C., got to Washington, D.C., only to find themselves wandering around outside of buildings and not allowed in any of them, so that they could get the sound bites on the media how terrible it was that the government was shut down. Donald Trump at one point during that era said, well, how much does it cost to have security open so they can have people can have access to the White House and take their tours? And when he found out what it cost, he offered out of his own pocket to fund it for a couple of weeks. I'll write the check right now, get the White House open, let people take tours. Had the government shut down, I promise you, welfare checks still would have went out. Medicaid checks still would have went out. Social Security checks, VA benefits, etc. It all still would have happened. Oh, and by the way, I think the national parks and the museums all would have remained open. What wouldn't have gotten funded? All the Democrats' pet little projects. All of the climate change bullhawk, all of the ways that they have to grift and siphon money back to themselves. All of that would have gone away. And Chuck Schumer knows it. And Chuck Schumer, like a dillweed, though, because he really is not an overly bright individual. He's a Democrat from New York, which means he's part of the Democrat machine, and the machine gets him reelected every year. He doesn't get reelected because he's got this great charisma and he's done great job for the people of New York. No, nay. It's just the machine that keeps spitting him out every election cycle. And the day he crosses the machine, they step him aside, and some other flunko gets in there, and he will be reelected time after time after time. So Chuck E. Cheese is not there because of his wits and his intelligence. He's there because he's a cog in the machine, period. But he's out there, talking resistance, and then he's the first one to quote cave because he gets it. And I'm sure there's a part of him that wants to go smack down Nancy Pelosi, because Nancy Pelosi knows the story, that they had literally walked into a perfectly laid Trump trap. They were going to be if they did and if they didn't. Either way, Trump was going to get his cuts. The shutdown would have actually made them a little bit more. He could have really cut then. So that's what all of this folderah is about. And the Democrats are imploding, and there is all types of internal fighting now as to who is going to control the party and be the one that officially sets the agenda and the narrative. So you know what? Let them fight. Watching all of this take place in real time is wonderful. We're finding out all kinds of things. Notice that they keep raging against Elon. But they don't rage against what Elon has found. They don't rage about the corruption that has been exposed. I pointed this out earlier that when Bernie Sanders says, 300-year-old people are not receiving Social Security checks. Well, duh. There's no one alive right now that's 300 years old. And this canard, this fabricated story that CNN and the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media treats following off on the American people as to it's an old computer system and the algorithms inside it just keeps up, just keeps upping the dates and it's just old. It's old technology from the 80s. First of all, why is the U.S. government running on 1980s technology? And since Social Security has only really been around since the FDR administration, that even somebody who was 70 then, okay, it's not even been 100 years yet, the oldest a person could be under the Social Security system is 170. They got people all the way up to age 350. See the deal here? See this? That money, I noticed Bernie Sanders said no one 300 years old is getting Social Security. He didn't say we aren't releasing checks to people that are 300. Played a little word game on you there. The checks are being issued. The money's being issued. No, it's not going to 200-year-old people. It's going to Democrats. It's going to illegal aliens. It's going to fund all the little projects that we can't stand because it's all about political correctness and woke bullhawk. Let me walk you through it, how it works. USAID makes it sound like USAID. And really what it was a slush fund for the CIA, which the new junior senator from Michigan, that some of you Michiganders think is a moderate, she's not. She's CIA. She's been in it up to her eyeballs, illegal killings around the planet, stirring up one endless war after another endless war and regime change. And you think she's the moderate from Michigan that's just there to balance Trump? No. She's the deep state rep that's there to try to knife him from within. That is all she is there for. Oh, and I'm sure she has presidential aspirations. Well, let me just tell you. I know for me, I'll never run for president for multiple reasons. One of the biggies is I don't have the face for it. And Ms. Senator Stalkin, whatever your name is from Michigan, you and the double chin wiggle, yeah, that's not a good look. You won't be president either. So get that little pipe dream out of your head. All right. That said, USAID was the slush fund for the CIA and other groups to fund things like not only that woke ideology around the planet, because that's how they try to create unrest in these foreign countries. Get the people fighting with each other like they get us to fight with each other here. Understand what the CIA does in Saudi Arabia is no different than what they do here. They're constantly trying to keep us at each other. And that's what they were doing with this USAID slush fund. But they were also using it to fund the illegal aliens that were here. You know, Biden had to have places to grab money from because he bankrupted FEMA. We're going to find out that money in the Department of Education was funding the same things. And now we're finding out that a lot of this money was going to a group called, you ready for it? Act Blue. Act Blue was supposed to be this grassroots organization that received money from private donors, and then it was dispersed to Democratic candidates. Ever wonder how Kamala thinks she's a Hottie Harris, raised $1.5 billion in 100 days? It was your tax money. Even the billionaires and the guys like George Clooney that wanted Biden out, once, I'm telling you, within a week or two of Kamala being the it girl, they knew right away, oh my God, we're in trouble. She really is the airhead we all thought she was. They weren't giving money to Kamala. Act Blue was, which means it was just grifted tax money, your money, my money. And these guys are all upset that Elon Musk has exposed this. Donald Trump keeps winning on this. And by the way, relax about the tariffs. Breathe in, breathe out. The European Union is about to self-destruct. And Canada is cooked. They're not going to turn off the power. What do they think this is? The 1980s movie, Canadian Bacon? Remember when John Candy wanted to invade Canada? Because wasn't it the same premise? They were going to turn off our electric. Oh, yeah! I'd love to see the American military roll up on a Canadian power plant and say, turn it on. Egg prices are coming down. You know, when you stop killing chickens, the hens, they lay more eggs. Price of eggs is coming down. Gas is coming down. Interest rates are dropping. Is it going to be a little uncomfortable right now with tariffs that we might not be able to get certain products through Amazon that we love to get? Yeah, that's going to happen. But you got to think big picture here. It brings American jobs, American manufacturing, American business back to America where it belongs. And that sustains you long term. Why are we letting our enemies build our supplies? Thanks, NAFTA. Thanks, establishment Republicans and Bill Clinton. Thanks for that. Ross Perot was right. NAFTA was the giant sucking sound of jobs going overseas. He was 100% right. Why do you think the deep state took him out? It's a great weekend. Go enjoy it.